Well, hello there, YouTube, and welcome to a 41-degree Friday, the 4th of March. I'm not sure if it's doomy and gloomy out here or it's just a fog layer setting in. I don't think it rained overnight. Look at Kylie over there looking at me going, what's going on? You not realize who this is, that guy? He can sure be a nutter. All right. Let's bust out a Friday and start a weekend. What do you think, Abby? She sees something out there. Abby the hunter. Well, Mama, it was yet another completely dry drive to work.
Yes, it was. It was very nice.
That was very nice. I see the Washington State Patrol boys. They're probably down there looking for their police bike.
Yeah, going, hey, what do you want?
Where's that smoke at? Well, Mama,
yes,
it's Friday.
Yes,
Let's get in there and bust her out and start our weekend.
Sounds wonderful.
Sounds good to me, too.
All right.
Hopefully it'll be a nice weekend.
Yes.
All righty.
All right.
Have a good day.
You too, sweetheart.
Love you. See you. Bye.
Love you.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
So last night I left this thing. Seems like there's something I was going to tell you about that. Oh, so the way the fuel hose, it's kind of this hard plastic thing, and it does this little S thing. So when you lift the tank to take it out, it has flexibility. And it has a wiring harness that comes up and it splits. One goes to the, sensors for the fuel level and whatnot, and the other one runs the pump. Well, I was concerned about that hose when I set the, because the tank's up quite high and you got to kind of slide it in and it drops. And it, drops in the back. And anyway, I was concerned how that was routed, and so it wouldn't pull on those wires. Those couplers, they have like a round nub. You can actually grab one and pull one. It's hard, but you can pull it out without releasing anything. So I think it's just a safety thing, so you don't destroy the wires or whatever. I no idea. BMW exclusively uses them things. They've got the regular clip lock style that you can't undo like that. Anyway, so I remember being concerned with that. And then this plastic stuff, I was kind of fighting it a little bit. My angle going in was a little weird. And I got the tank on and everything just like I had it when I showed you with it apart. And it's in a state I can cycle it and run the pump. So I just turned the key on, wing, I hear the pump running. And then I was later doing some tests, whatever, and I go, oh, geez, the fuel light's on. Well, I never put the fuel in it. Now, it just runs for a few seconds. It doesn't keep just running trying to find fuel. It realizes it's not there and it shuts down. So I put the fuel in, cycled the key. It ran. The pump ran. And so I tested it, and then it ran. I just remember clearly hearing it when, because it made that, as it sucked the fuel, it was his first time gobbling fuel. So it was there. What I had done is I had let where that hose does this little S, it collapses when you put the tank down. I let that wire get underneath one of those S's and it was pulling on it. So when I was looking at that thing yesterday, before I was talking to you about the thing being undone, I didn't even know what had happened. And I was studying it. And what happened, one of those S's had caught that loom right about where it starts to split, and it was pulling on it, and the tightest one was the one going into the pump. And that's how it popped it out. It was just me. I got into a little fight with this thing, getting it past some plastic parts, because you can't, to take this plastic piece off is like a nightmare you wouldn't believe. And BMW doesn't even tell you. You just got to fit between it. Just got to be careful with everything. And there's some bulges in the tank that kind of grab it, and you're afraid you're going to break it. So I think I got over-focused with that and forgot. And then the fact when I turned the key on, it cycled. I know I'm good. Didn't realize it was under pressure. Anyway, when I had it outside, because I didn't want to smoke Matthew out, so I was going to fire it up, let it run, and now it's going to just take some loops and play around with the suspension out here. Well, when it wouldn't start, the 2 different times the bike shut itself down and rebooted itself. I go, got to test that battery. It shouldn't do that. So Anyway, the last thing I did before I left last night was put it on the BMW charger, and it sat here overnight. I come in this morning, test it. Battery voltage is good. Charge is 100%. Health is about 35%, maybe 40. It doesn't give me the exact thing. You just learn to read it. And yeah, the battery's weak. So they're here. They rode in on bikes. I don't know if you could see that when we were saying the little goodbye out in the parking lot that we do every morning, but they had that purple Honda ST1300 and a 1200. I think it was the one I did the wiring harness, was out front. And so they both rode in, so they weren't picking this up today. And anyway, I tested the battery. It's low, it's functioning, but I recommended replacing it, but I thought they were here to go. I didn't realize they rode in together. Usually there's a car out there somewhere. But anyway, they're having the battery put in it, so we pulled a battery, and the health was about 70%, charge was 50%, and the voltage was a little low. So got her on the cooker. She's at 1 amps. It'll go down to 0.3. And when it gets down to 0.3, she's good. I'll retest it. And the health, and when the voltage is low, the health comes down with it. A real huge red flag is when the voltage is good and the charge is good. I didn't mean to say voltage, but if a charge is low and the health is a little low, they come up together. If the charge is 100%, voltage is good and health is low, that's a weak battery. It's got to go. So anyway, that's the state that this one is. A little low health, but 50% charge. Everything will go to 100% when it's done. So it hasn't been attached to anything to draw. They don't like, especially when it's connected to a bike that, you know, it's keeping computers alive and memories alive and stuff like that. It draws them down too low, and if you don't charge them, when they get to a super low state and they're left there, it sacks them out. Them batteries last, well, you can see my iron is, I think it's 9 years old now. But anyway, the other thing that will hurt them is if you don't have a maintainer, a fluctuating one. Like the Optimates are great. They do all kinds of tests and everything else. There's other brands, they call them automatic. And I think for the most part, all they're doing is charging for a little bit and shutting them off. I don't know how much testing they're doing. But I've gone out there and see lights flashing in a weird way on one of them, and it's just, it did a test it didn't like, so it was doing what they refer to as a desulfation mode. And I'm seeing that way too often on the iron. That's why I know that battery's finally coming to its end. But all's good. Just needs a battery. Of course, they decided not to take it after I put the body covers back on, but it's only, well, 3 screws normally on an RT, but the police bike has this extra piece in there, so there's a 4th screw on one of those. But yeah, everything's good. The suspension goes up and down, throws no codes. It's just happy as can be. Crazy. That's a weird one with that LED LIN bus controller. I literally thought that was still in the dash, because if you look at the wiring diagram, you can see where it's taking the LIN bus signal, going into, turning it to CAN bus, and then it comes back into the DME under the seat on these. But the controller's in the switch now. All right. A good question brought up by Jesse. Thank you. He says, why don't I add width to this rack for the Spyders? Reason being, when you work on a 2-wheeler, as it is, but most people take the sides off when they're working on 2-wheelers. They disconnect. And anyway, I work around it. But if you get any wider, it's certain things you can't even lean over. This, they got me specifically for Spyders. The outside of a Spyder tire, I was showing you how it's on here and hanging out that far. There's like, I don't know, about 3 inches of width of this rack with an RT on it. So this one's perfect. Doesn't have the front clamps for motorcycles, so you can't really use it on motorcycles. Plus, it is so wide that, like say you're changing oil, even on a Spyder, it can be tough to be in the middle of this rack and do certain things to it. So a lot of times end up going on the ground and sitting on the rack and doing those kind of things. So it can be too wide even for a Spyder at times. And you'll see when the season picks up, I mean, with all the stuff going on, I mean, things have been slower, but you'll definitely see Spyders on here when things get rolling, because this is specifically Spyders. So I can have a Spyder doing something there and also doing something on a two-wheeler here, because it's got the clamp and it's got the dropout for wheels and stuff. Now, you can't do a tire on this one. Well, you can, but you got to go through the trouble of taking stuff off so you can roll the wheel out, because you can't jack them up high enough to get under an RT fender. If you look in the book, it tells you how to take the tire off. You take the fender off. But these, and it's just wide enough that a Spyder wheel with the pulley and sprocket or disc on it will fall right through that hole, and you roll it out. And I've got a little trick for doing that too. I don't take the rack all the way out. It's kind of neat how it works. But doing tires, it sets my back off. Every time I get brave and I try to do a tire, for about 2 weeks I can barely walk. I got hit by a drunk driver back in 1992, and my back has been destroyed ever since for that kind of stuff. Something about the twisting and the gyrating of that thing, that certain lean over thing, like when I wash my hands in a sink, I have to almost buckle my knees and bring down to it. There's a certain angle I lean forward, and it's just perfect. Like when you're washing your hands in a sink, it sets that thing off. It feels like somebody stabbed me in the back with an ice pick, and it gets infected or something and swells up, and it's miserable. I can't sleep. Nightmare. It's almost impossible to ride motorcycles, walk around like an old man, but you have to be at that angle to take that wheel and lay it on there. And then, you know how you put the alignment dot on the valve stem? Not necessary, by the way, because some tires are not correct, and you have to debeat them and spin it 180 to, so you're not putting 10 tons of weights on it. But anyway, doing that spinning to get that alignment dot, oh man, it's just that perfect thing, that certain lean angle, and then putting that much weight twisting that thing, game the heck over. All right, look at this. 5:35. How was it that late? 5:35. Sunset is at 6:01 here wherever I'm at. I don't know what it'll be like at home. Yeah, buddy. How clear we can see Dr. Pierce's tonight. This is nice when it's getting to the point you come home in the daylight. I like it. Well, hello there, YouTube. I don't know if you can tell through the windows, maybe not. You can actually see stuff lit up outside there. There's a little bit of twilight still out there.
There he is.
How about that?
Blackness.
Yeah. That's nice. Signs, and sometime this month, I forget what day it is, the time changes, springs forward an hour. Heck yeah.
Wait for that.
And that would make this over an hour or half an hour before sunset. That'd be cool, huh?
That'd be very nice.
It's good to get that BMW done. I like to put my helmet on. I didn't want to take it for a ride. It just weirds me out, weirding people out riding that police bike around. So all I needed to do was check the suspension and stuff, and went out back. We got this little path we can ride things around, and the suspension just it's working so smooth. And I can go from hard to dynamic to road to soft and all those different modes, and it just reacts like it's supposed to. It's where the CAN bus helper controls all that stuff like it does. Kind of cool. It can be frustrating when it doesn't work right, but it seems rare. You guys see it. I get people going, well, I would never get a Spyder to have all these problems, or I never get a BMW to have all these problems. You're seeing because I'm exposed to so many of them. I'm showing you these things. Most people never have a problem ever with any of their stuff. It's just you're seeing it because that's what I do for a living, and when they have a problem, they bring it to me. We're, you know, what, with Portland and stuff, we're several million people around us.
Yeah.
You know, in the greater Portland, Vancouver area. I'm gonna see a lot of stuff. People take that the wrong way though. But, you know, a lot of times the computer just tells you what it is and you go in there and fix it.
I like that.
Took a little digging to find that CAN bus thing though. But I learned some areas I can go in and find other information. It was kind of cool. The whole thing was kind of fun. Got the park brake cable in for that Spyder. At least I can make it more mobile. Put the battery in because I can do that frame support thing with the battery in there. So I put the new battery in so it's not leaking anything more. And almost got the cable on, but I ran out of time. So anyway, it was a good day. Sunshine most of the day. It was wonderful.
Yes, it was. It was very nice.
On that, Mama, let's start our weekend and let these folks go.
Oh. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. We will talk to you tomorrow. Same smoke time, same smoke channel. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And you guys have a wonderful Saturday or Sunday.
Thank you. I feel like I can hardly talk because I don't think we shut up the whole way. We just rattled the whole way home.
Ratables.
Not much about work.
Yeah,
Just about different things.
Yeah, that was nice.
We don't get too far from work before work is gone.
Yeah.
Love it when you can do that.
Makes
When
it
people
nice.
carry their work with them home, you know.
Yeah.
If it's just you get older and wiser and leave that stuff behind or what. But stop stressing. Anyway, we're going to see you tomorrow.
See you there.
All right. Thanks for watching.
Yes.
Bye-bye now.